Welcome to my classroom. Today's topic is characterization and classification of rocks and minerals. You know that earth crust, it is mainly composed of the mineral matter, and this mineral matter is in turn comprised of various elements. Like these elements I have listed over here, and these elements may be present as single elements or in the form of chemical compound, well-defined chemical compound. And of all the known elements, we have all those known elements, they are present in earth crust. And if I say that these elements can be classified as non-metallic, non-metallic are oxygen, which comprises a big chunk of the earth crust, 46.6%, followed by silicon, 27.72%. So if I say that these two non-metallic elements, they compose around 75% of the earth's crust. And then we have some metallic ones: aluminium 8.13%, iron 5%, calcium 3.63%, sodium 2.83%, potassium 2.59%, magnesium 2.09%, and others 1.41%. So if I say that whole of the earth crust is comprised of just 8 elements. Of course other elements are also present, but that is a very small fraction of 1.41%. That means 98.59% of the earth crust is just comprised of 8 elements, out of which 2 are non-metallic, 6 are metallic ones. And as I said, these elements could be present either as individual elements or as well-defined compounds, chemical compounds. Now coming to characterization of the rocks. Characterization and classification. Rocks. So first of all, let's define a rock. So rock, it is a hard, massive structure formed from cooling and solidification of molten magma. Then we need to study these rocks, as these rocks are comprised of mineral matter. So I should say these are, let me say, the rocks are comprised of minerals formed from various elements. And study of the rocks is known as petrology. So the science which deals with study of rocks is called petrology, and this comprises of again two branches. One is petrography which deals with the study of description of rocks, which gives description of rocks. And then we have second, petrogenesis. This deals with the formation of rocks. Genesis means formation of rocks. So the science dealing with study of rocks, petrology, comprises of two components: petrography, which describes the rocks, and petrogenesis, which studies the formation of rocks. So here when I say description of the rocks, that means their classification, how they look, but how the rocks are formed, those processes is petrogenesis. Now then the formation of rocks, or you can say classification of rocks. Rocks broadly can be classified into three forms. First is igneous rocks. Igneous rocks, these are non-laminar, massive structure, formed by cooling and crystallization of molten magma. Formed by cooling and crystallization of molten magma. So these rocks are called igneous rocks, and this molten magma, it could be below the earth, above the earth. So I should say on or below the earth's surface. So that means the molten magma could be beneath the earth, it could be above the earth, and the rocks which are formed after cooling of this molten magma, and cooling as well as crystallization of molten magma, resulting in the formation of non-laminar massive structure, which we term as igneous rocks. Then second type of rocks, these are called sedimentary rocks. As the name suggests, these are formed by the deposition of the sediments. Formed by deposition of sediments, and these sediments could be transported by various means like water, air, oceans, glaciers, etc. And so how the sediments are formed by the process of, so first is your weathering. That means breakdown of the solid rock mass. So weathering, it could be, it is due to breakdown, and this breakdown of solid mass could be physical, could be chemical, or biological means. So once the hard rock mass gets broken into smaller fractions, then there is transportation. These boulders, these pieces of solid rock mass, these are transported by, as I said, by water, wind, glaciers, etc. or even snow. So first is breakdown, then transportation, then third is deposition, or what you call as sedimentation, that means settling down. So then during transportation there is deposition, sedimentation, and I will say that this is graded in the form of graded bedding. For example, if the sediments, these are being carried like this by water, so the heavier ones, they will settle over here. These are heavier frictions. So as you go downstream, this friction slows down. This is lighter friction. And still here you may have the finer frictions. So that means how this is what we call as graded bonding. So some may be deposited over here, some over here, some over here, depending upon the velocity of the stream or velocity of the wind, velocity of the glacier, etc., and also the size of the particles. So these are how the sedimentary rocks are formed. And then after this deposition, we have another important process, that is diagenesis. This is very important. Diagenesis is that once these different type of frictions they get deposited, then they are consolidated and cemented. So you can call it as consolidation and consolidation and cementation of the particles, settled particles, which is brought about by heat and pressure. So consolidation and cementation by heat and pressure. This is how the sedimentary rocks, these are formed. After this, we have third form of